Finally, James spoke. His voice was deep, calm, and commanding, like a thunderclap in the middle of their laughter. "You boys should choose your words carefully," he said, locking eyes with Darnell. The laughter cut short. Something in the way he spoke didn't belong to the fragile image they had created of him. It wasn't the shaky voice of an old man. It was the voice of someone who had faced storms, fire, and death and walked away. But Darnell wasn't about to lose face. He sneered and shoved James in the chest. "What you gonna do about it, huh? You can barely stand straight." James staggered a half-step back but quickly steadied himself. He didn't retaliate, didn't raise his fists. Instead, he let out a low, steady chuckle, a laugh that carried more weight than any threat. "Son," he said slowly, his eyes never leaving Darnell's, "I've stood straighter in jungles filled with bullets than I ever will here on this street." The words hit harder than any punch. The thugs exchanged uneasy glances, their confidence beginning to crack. "What's he talking about?" One whispered under his breath. Without rushing, James unbuttoned his coat. From the inside pocket, he pulled out a folded cap, its fabric old but well kept. Embroidered on the front was the insignia that told a story, all on its own, the mark of a Vietnam veteran. The air shifted instantly. The smirks on the young men's faces melted away. "Vietnam?" One of the younger thugs stammered, his voice unsteady. His bravado was already gone. James nodded, his tone sharp and unshakable. "While you kids were busy acting tough on corners, I was thousands of miles away, crawling through mud, carrying brothers on my back, and watching friends breathe their last breaths. You think this scares me? A few loud mouths? You don't even know the meaning of fear." The street went silent. Even the bystanders who had been pretending not to stare stopped in their tracks, their eyes fixed on. James, the old man, wasn't just old anymore. He was a warrior, a survivor, someone who had seen things they couldn't even imagine. James stepped forward slowly, closing the space between him and Darnell. His gaze was steady, cutting through the young man's tough exterior. "I've seen real men younger than you, stand tall in the face of death," James said firmly. "And here you are, wasting your breath trying to bully someone who's lived long enough to know better. That's not strength, boy. That's weakness." Darnell's bravado cracked. His jaw clenched, but his fists dropped to his sides. For the first time that night, he realized he wasn't looking at a helpless old man. He was staring at a soldier who had already faced the worst the world could throw at him, and survived.